Hello! Let's just get right into it. We're starting in John chapter 7, verse 25. At that point, some of the people of Jerusalem began to ask, "Isn't this the man they are trying to kill? Here he is, speaking publicly, and they are not saying a word to him? Have the authorities really concluded that he is the Christ? But we know where this man is from. When the Christ comes, no one will know where he is from." Remember, a feast is taking place here, so it seems that the residents of Jerusalem knew about Jesus very well, but perhaps others visiting didn't. And it seems that they have been swayed by the Jerusalem Pharisees. But they actually say something funny, which is almost hard to blame them on, but still they're wrong in a funny way. Malachi 3:1 says that the Messiah will come suddenly. This made people believe that he would just appear out of thin air at the temple. They know that he is from Nazareth, so that doesn't coincide with what they thought. But they must not have read Micah, because Micah 5:2 says that he will be born in Bethlehem. But Jesus responds. Then Jesus, still teaching in the temple courts, cried out, "Yes, you know me, and you know where I am from. I am not here on my own, but he who sent me is true. You do not know him, but I know him, because I am from him, and he sent me." At this they tried to seize him, but no one laid a hand on him, because his time had not yet come. Excited to see how they play this miracle out in The Chosen, but anyways, this could be one of two things, or both. Jesus affirmed that he was from an earthly origin, but he also could have been trying to remind them that he came from God himself, in a sarcastic way, just like, "You know where I'm from." And he says, "You do not know the Father." He could just be referring to the fact that those people were so misguided that they didn't actually know the real God. He could also be referring to the fact that no one comes to the Father except through him. But either way, he was telling them that their faith was misguided. Still, many in the crowd put their faith in him. They said, "When the Christ comes, will he do more miraculous signs than this man?" That's very strange, and I wonder if it could have been worded better, because they didn't have faith in him, they had faith in his words, which is different. The Pharisees heard the crowd whispering such things about him. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees sent temple guards to arrest him. Jesus said, "I am with you for only a short time, and then I go to the one who sent me. You will look for me, but you will not find me, and where I am you cannot come." The Jews said to one another, "Where does this man intend to go that we cannot find him? Will he go where our people live scattered among the Greeks, and teach the Greeks? What did he mean when he said, 'You will look for me, but you will not find me, and where I am you cannot come'?" Jesus says that he will not be taken before his time is up, and in the end he will go to the Father to prepare a place for them. They didn't understand that the reason they wouldn't be able to find him was because he wouldn't be on earth. On the last and greatest day of the feast, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, streams of living water will flow from within him." By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believe in him were later to receive. Up to that time the Spirit had not been given, since Jesus had not yet been glorified. In this feast, water was not poured on the 8th day. That's why this metaphor probably had an impact on the people that day. We can refresh our souls in Jesus, and as that metaphor says, it will be flowing out of us, which means that we can refresh others with what Jesus has given us. And he says that he's referencing scripture. I found 4 verses that prophesy what he is saying. Zechariah 3:1 says, "In that day a fountain shall be opened for the house of David and for the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for uncleanness." Zechariah 14:8 says, "And in that day it shall be that living waters shall flow from Jerusalem." Isaiah 44:3 says, "For I will pour water on him who is thirsty." And Isaiah 55:1 says, "Everyone who thirsts, come to the waters." On hearing his words, some of the people said, "Surely this man is the prophet." Others said, "He is the Christ." Still others asked, "How can the Christ come from Galilee? Does not the scripture say that the Christ will come from David's family and from Bethlehem, the town where David lived?" Thus the people were divided because of Jesus. Some wanted to seize him, but no one laid a hand on him. At least some believed, but some didn't. May I remind you of another prophecy? Isaiah 53:3 says, "He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not." So we always need to remember the truth that Jesus is the Christ so that we can bring joy to him. Thanks for listening, guys.